Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to an evening show, another evening show. The day before Chelsea play against Fulham at Craven Cottage in the Premier League. And listen, I look forward to every Chelsea game. I'm not going to sit here and say I dread playing Fulham, but I'm not feeling confident. I'm not feeling particularly up for it. In the sense of how I would have felt for a number of other games that we've had. It's a different feeling, this one. If you are feeling confident, let me know in the chat. If you're not, let me know. I feel like I'm speaking for the majority when I think that it seems unlikely that Chelsea win this game comfortably, at least in my eyes. But maybe there's a section of you that think differently, and you think that Chelsea will just walk all over Fulham. It will be a walk in the park. It's a team we should be beating. And you are right. We should be beating Fulham. But then I put the question back to you. Will we beat Fulham? How do we beat Fulham? So these are all questions we're going to talk about. We're going to speak about everything to do with the club at the moment. We're going to talk about Reece James questioning Chelsea's mentality. We're going to see what he said in his recent interview. We're also going to be talking about the latest transfer news updates that have come out. We've had some stuff from David Ornstein and Fabrizio. So just be interesting to see what updates we have on that side. Whether you want to believe it or not, I leave it up to you. But again, these are all sources, and I think there will be an element of truth to it at least. We're also going to look at Fulham and preview that game as well. Big up to everyone that's watching. Smash the like button if you haven't already. And subscribe to the channel. Doesn't cost anything. Helps a lot. And it shows you're enjoying what we're doing. Big up to you, Henny. Hope you're doing well, mate. Enzo out. Eric says, hello. I'm a Chelsea fan from Kenya. Good to see you, mate. We are the 12th man. We can get us over the line, Neil. I respect your optimism. I do respect it. But we can't kick the ball, Neil. We can't score the goals. We can't keep the clean sheets. We can only do what we can do. And in the stands, ultimately, I don't know if you're a match-going fan or not, Neil. I have no idea. Obviously, I do go to the games. And my opinion, it's not even just a Chelsea thing. It's an English football fan thing. English football fans respond to good football. If you play good football and show intensity and intent, the fans generally back you. Even if you're not necessarily playing your best, if they can feel that energy and that fight, that seems to be the difference maker between keeping fans on side and not. And I don't think that Maresca's keeping the fans on side. I'm not saying the players are exempt. Of course, they deserve, to be criticized when they don't perform. But I mean, I'm not with Maresca. I'm not with this program anymore. I don't know how people are. So listen, I'm open to having the conversation. I could speak about this all day. I've had arguments for a number of months now about this, and I feel stronger than ever. But I felt strong, against Brentford. I felt strong against Ipswich. I felt this way against Brighton. This is not a brand new feeling for me. This is a feeling that I've carried for many, many months now. Basically, the majority of 2025. January, not so much. But from City away, that's when I started to think, what are we doing? Abu Bakar says we'd never won a Premier League game in 4.5 months, Alex. Yes, that is a very worrying stat, mate. You beat me to it. Eric says Maresca is becoming like Ange, so arrogant, no plan B, and arrogant players aren't playing for him. Yusuf says hopefully Lavia can play a few minutes tomorrow, but in saying that he'll get injured the next day, I mean, I doubt Lavia will start, but maybe we see some minutes off of the bench. But does it? Lavia is not the type of player you want on the bench, really, because I think that's the player you want to start games with, and then just take him off after 45 minutes if you need to, because he's not going to give you a goal threat unless you're a goal up. I don't really see the point. Remo says we are done, mate. Chelsea are finished. Rich Moneymaker says big up the legend. Hit likes and subscribe. It's free and takes seconds. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the kind words. Guys, we've got over 60 of you in here. Let's get straight up to 45 likes on the video. Okay, 45 likes. There's over 60 of you in here at the moment. Ejir, hello everyone. He's from Nigeria. Big up to you, my friend. Big up to everyone in Nigeria. Stephen says, big up, Alex, with the frequent nonsensical excuses from and PR from our ownership manager and some of our fan base. It's better we lose and finish 10th. Well, Stephen, I'm not sure I share that opinion. Obviously, we want Chelsea to finish as high as we can, but I understand where you're coming from. You're unhappy, and as are a lot of Chelsea fans, mate, including myself. Jane Sancho worth 25 million, but he has to be willing to take a pay cut. I back him. How much is the pay cut? So, you know, that's what I want to know. What's the wage we're looking at? Jordan, I hope you're doing well, mate. Icon says Maresca is brainwashed by the Pep cult. Guys, I'll go through the chat for 2-3 more minutes and then I'll get straight into it. Okay, so I'll go through it for a couple more minutes. Loads of fans want to do a protest at the Everton game because they want the sporting directors out. Do you want the sporting directors out? Do you think they are the biggest problem? Do you think the manager is the biggest problem? Do you think the ownership are the biggest problem? Let me know. What's your opinion on Sancho? Do you think we should keep him? Depends where we finish, to be honest with you, Lieutenant Wolf. If we finish in a Champions League position, I do not keep Sancho. I absolutely do not keep Sancho. He's not good enough. He's not got the mentality. He's not got the quality over a season, the consistency. So Champions League, absolutely not. If we don't get the Champions League, then the question is, who do you get that's better? And our recruitment don't really have a great track record of bringing players in to embed into the squad straight away and make an instant impact. So then you're not saying I want Sancho, but I don't really know who else you bring in. And then you've got no Mudryk either, presuming he's been found guilty. So you've not really got a lot of options to work with. 25 million is not a lot of money in modern day football. So it is an opportunistic signing, which we're all over. And if he does take a pay cut, then, I guess you can respect that, can't you? But it needs to be a really good pay cut for any fans to have any sort of satisfaction within that deal. Because it's not like tossing where you didn't spend anything. You're still spending 25 million that you could invest into another player. Big up to you. I hope you're doing well. Jordan says, I've heard the rumors that were interesting in Bayern Munich centre-back Kim Min-jen. Any thoughts on that, Alex? I will be getting into that, Jordan. Don't you worry. I will be getting into that. Hugh wants George to start against Fulham. Big up to you, Amir. I say as a Chelsea senior player, Reece James should definitely have a right to say on Chelsea's current mental issue that they're having at the moment. So I would say well done for speaking. Yeah, that's fair enough. I guess you can give him credit for that. He spoke his mind. We will watch the interview, so stay tuned for that. Not a fan of inverted fullbacks. It sucks and it's boring. It doesn't suit the squad. Well, listen, we've seen Cucurella do it to a great level. Like, we've seen him do it. I always thought to myself, like, Maresca always inverted the right backs at Leicester. I thought, well, just do the opposite of Chelsea. Invert the fucking left side. Is there any, is there a big issue here? Obviously there is, because he doesn't want to keep doing it with Cucurella. He wants to keep doing it with James and Gusto and Achimpong. I don't really understand it. What I'd like to see is another one of those chess videos. It's not a chess video. The tactical masterclasses. Maresca already did one when he spoke about everything. So maybe that would be interesting. Mario says, weak mentality from 2nd to 7th. It's not great, is it? Big up to you, Daniel. Martin says, get a life, mate. Even though Martin is actually watching this stream at 10 o'clock in the evening when he has nothing better to do. Big up to you, Martin. Always good to have you on the stream. There we go. Cami says, last chance saloon tomorrow. Fingers crossed these lot turn up tomorrow and play like they're in a final. Yes. We'll see. We haven't done very well in finals recently, if we're getting technical. At least this final's not at Wembley. Eric says, Alex, please comment on getting defender Kim from Bar. I will comment on it, guys. I will. We are going to go through it, but we want to go in order. According to my sources, the investors are getting fed up with this stupid youth product. Thank God someone with common sense. Well, if that's true, then I don't blame them, because where do you see the money coming from without Champions League football? If you spend 10% of your revenue, but your revenue's down 20%, doesn't really work as well. So there you go. Stephen, every single live, I see this comment. I don't think Sophie Rose is coming back. Sophie, you are more than welcome to come back. Don't think she's interested. And again, Martin, I think you're a little bit outdated with this one. I absolutely own the fact that I was in the away end at Southampton, loving life, genuinely believing that we were in a title race. Can you believe that? But hindsight's a great thing. And that's why I'm not a pundit. That's why I'm not on Sky Sports. Because I'm not an expert at these things. I don't expect you to believe I'm an expert. Nobody has to believe what I'm saying. I am a fan who goes to games, who runs a fan channel. Love Chelsea. Be very difficult to run a fan channel if I didn't, especially at the moment. So, and what? Like 6 months ago, you loved your wife. Then she cheated on you. Do you still love her? I'm not saying she actually cheated on you, but things change. Life changes. I had a six-pack 2 years ago. Then I stopped going to the gym. Now I'm fat. What's the point? Hindsight is a great thing. We thought he was half decent. We found out he's just half. He is half. He is mid. And that's why he's a championship manager. So that's my opinion on that. Right, let's get into it, guys. I've gone through the chat for about 12 minutes. So let's dig into the latest. Let's talk about as much as we can. Let's start off speaking about Reece James. Now, this is obviously a player that, in my opinion, isn't naturally a captain. Yeah, I wouldn't say Reece James strikes me as captain material, but I understand why he was made the club captain. I understand that, and it makes sense. I mean, he's been at the club, he's won at the club, he's an experienced player. He's certainly there should be some respect for Reece James in that sense, but they're also at the same time you need better leaders than that, more vocal leaders. But anyway, he did a brutal interview, which haters luckily have published, and Maresca also made a few comments as well, so we can look at what Maresca had to say, but let's look at Reece James first. If I can fucking find the video. Oh, so annoying. Is it this one? Right, the graphics are shocking, but this is what I've got. But by the way, when I was making the fat reference, it's all hypotheticals here. I'm not saying I'm fat. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying anyone cheated on anyone. I'm just saying, when people say to me, like, oh, Alex, you were the one singing, we've got our Chelsea back in December. I'm saying, yeah, that's true. But again, 6 months ago, I was in the gym all the time. Now I'm not. I've put on weight. Why do you think it looks different in the mirror now? Life changes. People's perspectives change. So I appreciate the nice comment, but I didn't actually mean that. It was more of a interesting, just a random analogy that I made. I just like the way that Egbali ignored the fans after the game. You're not Johnny Minerals when Kev told you to go up to him and question things. Listen, hindsight, again, it's a great thing, isn't it? I do agree with one of the fans that's, one of the people on the chat yesterday that said to me, Alex, you didn't have to be disrespectful. You could have just politely asked him genuine questions. that concerning the fans at the moment. And I do hold my hands up and say, like, I respect that point, and maybe I could have approached it differently, but my opinion is, well, my perspective is, I was there for what, 15 seconds when Egbali was walking past. I didn't really have a lot of time to react, and ultimately, it's not like I just let him walk past. People sit there as if I was silent. I spoke to him, and he could have responded. He had the opportunity to walk over and communicate. He chose to ignore us. He chose not to come up and speak to us. That's within his rights to do that. But yeah, I'm not going to run up and fucking attack the guy. I'm not going to, like, have some, like, be realistic, please. Like, have some sense as well. I know Johnny and Younes ripped into me about that. I saw the video. Someone tagged me about it and sent me the video. Look, if Johnny's so unhappy with the way I'm dealing with the ownership, he should stand out there and confront them himself. And Younes, I don't know why any of these guys are criticizing me. He's not even going to games. People want to criticize me for going out there and interviewing fans. And I have spoken to the owners, and I have interviewed the owners before. I spoke to Bowley a couple of times. God, when was the first time? Fuck. Oh God, when was that? I think I froze actually when I saw Bowley. I tried to. I met him in Austria, and I was trying to remind him of when we met, and I honestly, my head just froze. And I asked him to give the channel another shout, didn't I? And he said, "I'm not going to do that." I went, "Well, Todd, you already fucking did it, mate. Hold that." Yeah. Listen, if you're so unhappy with the way I dealt with the ownership, you fucking do it. So that's my thing. And also, like, everyone talking about agendas and this and that. Like, I was getting praise a month ago. Alex, you're the best thing since sliced bread, because I went on TalkSport and encouraged people to protest. I encouraged it. What, now I'm some brown envelope? I thought you loved me. Now you hate me. Where are we going there? So you got to pick one. And they don't know what to pick. I don't know. You know, me and Johnny, personally, I just want to say on a personal level, I actually get along well with Johnny. Like, me and Johnny are fine. I feel like I'm on better terms with Johnny than a lot of these creators. And I find Johnny's work very entertaining. Oh, it's hilarious. But he does speak about some real issues that should be addressed. But when he so-called muds me or criticizes me, I think you just have to take it with a pinch of salt a lot of the time, guys. I agree with some of the stuff he says, and I don't agree with everything he says. Yeah. Let's have it right. Up the Chelsea fan TV. Right, let's get into it. So this is the interview, but the graphics aren't the best, so I do apologize. We're just working with what I can find off the top of my head.
Through to the semi-finals, but defeat on the night in a game you were expected to win comfortably. What is the feeling in the dressing room after that?
Probably what you expect, disappointment. As you said, it was a game we should have won, and something we failed to do tonight. But as you mentioned, we qualified. You know, we advanced in the competition to the semi-final, but no, it was a poor performance from the team today.
What did you put it down to?
Oh, it's hard to put it down to one thing. You know, I think we had a 3-0 lead. Maybe that played, you know, a part in taking our foot off the gas. But we have no excuses.
Yeah, you reiterated how important it was to stay focused right from the word go. How different were Legia tonight?
No, I think the game was always going to be different. It was a second leg away from home. They have nothing to lose, and they showed that tonight. They made it tough for us, and we didn't step up.
We've heard the manager saying he's seen proof of progress in this team and what you're doing. What are you seeing in games? What are you seeing in training that gives you the belief that Chelsea can achieve their goals this season?
No, for sure. We are making progress. Today, that was for sure not progress. If anything, a step back.
And this is what I've been saying. Maresca is not progressing this team. He is regressing this team. We have seen a clear regression. Like, anyone can have a good start, but it's when you get down the line that you really find out about people's character, their temperament, their quality. And we're finding out. If you've ever heard of the term fuck around and find out, Chelsea fucked around and we're finding out. When I say fucked around as well, what I mean is, we decided to pick a championship manager and roll the dice. And then we decided not to back the manager, which, by the way, I just want to say, I agree with Lewis on that. Me and Lewis disagree on a number of issues. But one thing I do agree with Lewis on is that the manager hasn't been backed properly. Now, when you look at the summer, I actually don't think that summer was the biggest problem. Yeah, we could have done certain things different. That's fair enough. But ultimately, we had a good enough squad. We had a good enough squad, and we chose to not utilize a lot of those players. We chose not to utilize Chukwuemeka. We chose not to include Vega as much as we wanted to and play him in his natural position. We chose not to play Felix. We chose not to play Nkunku in his natural position. We chose to play Cole Palmer as a 10, which in my opinion makes him worse and impacts the likes of Chukwuemeka and Nkunku and João Felix as well. 3 players who could have potentially contributed more to this team. And also we've chosen to play Reece James as a midfielder, and we chose to not utilize Petrovic and play Sanchez instead. I think the manager directly had a say on that. People say he doesn't have all the power. He has a say. You can't tell me that he didn't have a say because Petrovic was our number 1 last season. If you're telling me Petrovic didn't have a say, then we are finished as a club. And I know that to an extent we are, but I absolutely believe Maresca had a say. So he was a factor in Petrovic going to Strasbourg, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. I've just listed you a number of things that could have been done differently from a management side. January is where I criticized the board and the fact that we regressed. Me and Charlie, we spoke about this and we said, we don't have to do an awful lot in this window, but in an ideal world, we need another midfielder. We need some cover for Caicedo. We would just, we weren't even saying sign anyone. We were saying bring Nguchukwu back. Like, we've seen Nguchukwu play for us. He's not going to play every week, but it's a rotation option. You can get away with that. It's financially viable. You don't have to spend £1 million to get Nguchukwu to return. And they didn't do that. And then they decided to get rid of Vega and Felix and publicly announced that they don't want Nkunku at the club. Talk about fucking amateur. Absolutely amateur. So that is the one area that I do have sympathy for Maresca. But Vega and Felix was a Maresca problem to start with. Nkunku became a problem under Maresca. He wasn't a problem last season. When he was fit, he was all right. It was fine. He was scoring goals under Poch. Not a lot, but that's because he was injured a lot of the time. But he was scoring enough to see that when he's fully fit, this guy's going to be good for us. And he's been fit this season, and Maresca has played him as a winger, a striker, everywhere except his natural position, and we wonder why he's not performing. Anyway, let's continue.
And yeah, maybe we, disrespected the competition today, but this is football for you, and if you don't prepare right, you'll pay.
He said we disrespected the competition. Imagine that. We disrespected the competition even though we took it seriously. That is embarrassing. The fact that you disrespect the competition and your starting 11 consists of Cucurella. Who else is a starter? Reece James as a midfielder. Cole Palmer, Nicholas Jackson, and then who is it? Sancho or Neto? One of the two. Can't even remember. Like you played your starting players and you still fucking lost to Warsaw. It's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. I was actually asked by fans in the concourse at half time to do an interview with me, and I was thinking about doing it, but then I thought, I honestly thought at that point, I thought this is a bit toxic. Like, let's talk about the game after the game. Let's not run this at half time. But they didn't even want to go up. A lot of people stayed in the concourse the whole match. There was a group of lads that didn't even go up. So that's a little bit of an extreme, but they were having a lot of fun. And I think they're having more fun than the people in the stands. So maybe they had a better day out than most. Even saying that, I want to say a massive respect to all of the Chelsea fans who did decide to make the trip down to Stamford Bridge. They predicted it was going to be 31,000 capacity. It was actually 29, the lowest in a long, long time. And I want to say hats off to everyone that went. You have my respect. People say that you should stop going to games because it affects the owner's pockets. That is not the solution, guys. Because then what they will do is they will charge more for the people that do go. And the cycle will continue. So, just because 100 people that are watching this YouTube video decide not to go to games, there are thousands of people desperate to go to these matches who will pay extortionate money. That's why Vivid Seats are a profitable company. So, yeah, it's just not going to happen, is it? I think we've seen enough of Reece James. Like, ultimately, I don't even want to watch it, to be fair. I think it's quite embarrassing, really. How come I'm not out on a Saturday night, Alex? To be fair, and I actually was out. I came back specifically for this stream. So I was at a friend's house from 7 till 9:30, and then I drove back. But didn't drink. I'm trying to cut down on the drinking. First of all, just because I honestly, I just can't handle it as much as I used to. Not on the day, but the day after. My hangovers are just, honestly, man, it's I just can't handle it. Like Blue Brother and Lewis Bottlers, the poor of them, Johnny loves the club to his core. Oh, Johnny does love the club. Absolutely. I don't dispute that. No, I don't dispute that at all. But Lewis and Charlie also love the club. They have a track record of following Chelsea over a number of years, home and away. I think that's a form of love. Would you not say, dedicating all those hours, all that money? I think it's certainly a huge commitment to follow Chelsea. Anyway, let's move on. So that is what we saw from Reece James. Ultimately, he's admitting what we already know. The mentality of this club is rotten, and it comes from the top, and that trickles down. And the manager is a part of that puzzle. He is a pawn in this game. Yeah, that's the situation we're in as a club now. Now backtracking a little bit, or going forward ever so slightly, let's look at what Enzo Maresca has had to say as well, because actually, I think it's quite good to react to his sort of conferences before the matches and see. Yeah, let's have a look, shall we? Let's watch it together. I'll answer a couple of questions as well. I completely agree with you, Ryan. Completely agree. They don't call out the owners. Not as much. You're right. They don't call out the owners as much. But I don't necessarily like. I think you're under the opinion that the reason Lewis and Charlie don't call out the owners as much is I think you think it's fear, right? But I don't think it's fear. I think they genuinely think that there's another solution. But they'll wake up. They'll wake up to it. They will soon realize that if the directors are the problem, it's because the owners employ them. It's obvious, isn't it? They literally work directly under them. So to say the directors are the problem, it's like, well, you just told me that you don't trust the directors to hire another manager. Do you trust the owners to hire a better director? In fact, it's plural. Directors. So, I never understood this argument of directors out and they are the sole issue. I mean, they need to do a lot better. And I'm here for it. Get rid of them. Sack them. No problem. I'll sleep well. But Blue Co is still running the football club. And Egbali is still calling the shots. Regardless of the manager, the players, or the directors. Anyway, let's see what Maresca's had to say.
Against Fulham in December, it was his 26th goal of the calendar year 2024. What advice are you giving him at the moment as he goes through a tougher spell? Maybe that he's not.
What's the question? Oh, he's talking about Cole Palmer. All right, Cole Palmer.
Fulham in December, it was his 26th goal of the calendar year 2024. What advice are you giving him at the moment as he goes through a tougher spell? Maybe that he's not used to.
Yeah, you wish, mate.
Getting back to those kinds of numbers.
Yeah, probably it's the first moment for Cole where he's a little bit.
I just want to say as well, I don't believe that the owners influence the starting 11. I don't believe it. I just think it's I think it's nonsense. I think that's a conspiracy theory too far. No, I just think it's what ownership dictates at the highest level. They don't. No, I'm sorry, mate. I believe it when I fucking find out for real. But if these are just things that are going around, conspiracies on YouTube, I don't believe it. It's not true. Do you honestly believe if I was the owner and I was an American investor, all right, and I owned a private equity firm, which is what Egbali owns. He owns Clearlake. By the way, Egbali is not a shareholder in Chelsea. Clearlake Capital are. Let's be clear. Same with Feliciano. So they are managing other people's money, and Clearlake are in control. They are not necessarily in control. They don't own the shares, so they are a slave to their investors. If I was in Egbali's situation, I never really watched football. I bought Chelsea. Then we have, I see Robert Sanchez. I think, what the fuck? Why does the manager keep bloody playing him? I'm not telling the manager to keep playing him. I mean, how does Egbali dictate that? And again, you say it's not a conspiracy. Fact. Prove it. Please. Please prove it. And if you can, I will put my hands up. But there is no evidence to support that argument that Egbali and Todd Bowley or whoever it is that you're saying dictates the starting 11 actually dictates it. They do not choose the players. They don't do it. They don't do it. I don't believe that argument. I don't. I believe a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of stuff, that I do believe with regards to the owners. That is not one of them. Anyway. Let's see what Maresca has to say about Palmer.
Struggle in general. The only thing he has to Yes, because he's so good, he has to continue working hard, because for sure very soon he's going to start scoring goal for us. They just said me that the first 20 Premier League games he scored, I think, 14 goals. So to score 14 goals in 20 games is a huge number, fantastic number. Now it's a moment for him where he struggled, but he has to continue, because for sure he's going to score goals very soon.
Well, by very soon, I hope that means under different management. But there you go. Right. God, some of you are just relentless, aren't you? Sonic, what have you said? Come on, let's have a look. Let's see what you've said. What have I ignored? I don't ignore you, mate. There's just a lot of comments. Come on then, let's scroll up. Let's see what you've said. The one to blame is the sporting directors who did not bring a backup to a striker, a right centre back, and a goalkeeper. Yeah, you're late to the stream, man. You haven't watched the stream. I've already spoken about this stuff. Again, I've already spoken about this. If you want me to address this, literally go back to the beginning of the stream when I spoke about it. So you've just joined the building, mate.
For maybe some of his struggles recently, are the opposition paying more close attention?
I think,
is he just not enjoying it at the moment?
No, I think there are different reasons why. But for sure, a moment where you struggle is part of their career, their process, their season. Last year, the fantastic season. This season, we said many times that the way the team approach him is in different way. Most of the time is marking man-to-man. That is more difficult for any player in the world. But even with that, he scored 14 goals in 20 games, the first 20 games. So for me, it's just a matter of a bad moment. And in the moment that he is able to score a goal, probably change again.
So Romeo Lavia at training this week. When he's played, he's been impressive this season. Maybe not played enough with the injuries. Do you think this could be him back, firstly, for the Fulham game, and maybe the kickstart a good solid end of the season? And how important is he for your team?
Romeo is back. He's training with us, and he can be available for Sunday. With him, we're going to try the same thing that we are trying with the Reece. I would like to play Reece every 3 days, but we are trying to manage him, to help him. And as I said, exactly the same thing we are going to try to do with Romeo, because he's for us an important player.
Just a final one from me on Marc Cucurella. You've mentioned him already, that he's getting into advanced positions, centrally goal-scoring positions. How pleased have you been with his return this season?
He's doing fun.
I will just say this: there are two players, 3 players, I'd say, that have thrived under Enzo Maresca, and that's Cucurella, Caicedo, and Enzo Fernandez. Now, the argument is that Maresca's improved those players so much. Madueke is another one people use. But they didn't improve whatsoever last season. Like, we saw clear progression last year with Cucurella. We saw Caicedo get better as the season went on. And Enzo Fernandez, I'll absolutely admit that he wasn't really that good under Poch. But he's been much better under Maresca. So those are the players that I can look at and say this manager has really helped. Apart from that, I look at our defenders individually. I look at Gusto, regression. I look at Chalobah, regression. Tosin was never here. I mean, if you compare that to Silva, totally different kettle of fish. Colwell, regression. Dewsbury Hall wasn't here. Madueke, slight improvement. Jackson, under this manager, I haven't really seen much improvement. Like, if you look at the beginning of last season and where Jackson finished the season, he improved so much. His hold-up play, like everything about his game. This season, you look at where he started the season, and the more time he spent with Maresca, the worse it's got. Not to say that Jackson doesn't help the team. Of course he does, but I'm not seeing a progression. I'm not seeing a clear improvement. God, getting very spicy in the chat today, aren't we? Fucking hell. Alex is so drunk during games you can't take his opinion seriously. Martin, you are. Have you had a drink tonight? I mean, very nasty today. Very nasty. I can take it though. Keep coming. Keep coming. Right, let's see what Maresca has to say.
Fantastic. He scored goals.
He's talking about Cucurella at the moment.
Not only goals, he's helping the team to play in the way we want to play. When we need to defend, he's very aggressive off the ball. And I said, yeah, if Cucu is the one that is scoring more goals for us in this moment, that we need to be worried. And hopefully we can have, our offensive player that they can start to score goal very soon.
Nizar?
Enzo, you rested Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez today. Do you think you need maybe one more midfielder if Lavia can't prove his fitness in the long term, maybe next season? And is Andre Santos the guy?
Yeah, we rest Enzo, we rest Moy, we rest Levi, we rest Trev, we rest Noni, Pedro, we rest many players. That's why I said that for sure we are not happy about the result, the Conference League result, but at the same time, we try to manage a little bit the first result and to rotate player. And then second, now we know that Andre is doing well, but in this moment we are just focused about how we finish the season. And then when we finish the season, we're going to start to think about next season.
Kieran? Oh, there you are.
I know you won't have heard Reece James's interview yet, but he was very strong. Do you think is that type of leadership what's needed? Someone just telling it how it is, no bull, just being brutally honest. Is that what's needed?
Absolutely, yes. He's in charge of that. He's one of the captain, and as I said before, I think probably it was right in terms of because of the first result we tried to manage in the wrong way, and probably is right in what he said.
Yeah. So take us inside the change room. Is he like that in there, just being honest with everyone?
Exactly. If you remember at the beginning of the season, I complained a little bit with him in terms of leadership, but my target was just this one, to try to get more from him, and now he's
get more from him. I think Thomas Tuchel's getting more out of Reece James than Maresca at the moment, and he's only played a handful of games, if that. So I don't know if that's something Maresca wants to take credit for. I mean, what's he talking about? Reece James's leadership. If he's talking about on the pitch, then I'm like, okay, but he said the standards are falling. He literally said we've regressed. Why are you smiling? Why are you? It's like he's trying to take credit for. I don't get it. Why are you trying to take credit for that? That's what it sounds like. As a captain, yeah, but like, I don't know. The timing just seems weird because James just did that interview. That's what I mean. I'm like, are you seeing Reece James progress into a player that we never knew he could be? Like, I've seen Reece James do so much better under previous regimes than under this manager. It's just my opinion, but fair play. Like, each to their own.
He's doing well also in terms of leadership.
Jack?
Have you got any concern that playing Cole and Nico and players like that tonight and not getting the result could have an impact on Sunday? Have you got any concerns with that at all? Sending them out again, having them involved?
No doubt that using them tonight is to build a little bit the physical condition, but also to build mentally a little bit, because they struggle to score in this moment. So to give them 45 minutes to 1 hour, it's also a chance to see if they can score and they can go again. And when they don't score, for sure, I'm worried.
You
Well,
should
Mike.
be worried, Enzo, because part of the reason they don't score is because of your fucking system, man. It's not the only reason, but it's a big reason. I also think another reason they don't score, everyone wants to talk tactics. What about mentality? When does anyone want to talk about mentality? What kind of mentality does this coach instill in the players? What kind of mentality has he been instilled with? What's he done? Maresca's history as a coach. I could write a list on my hand. I could write a list on one finger. Palmer sacked. Leicester 1 season. Chelsea. Why am I back in this? Why is anyone back in this? Again, to go through some of the comments that have spoken about the standards at this club, we must understand it comes from the top. Fully aware of that. Fully aware. But I need to talk about what I'm seeing on the football pitch. And the manager is directly responsible for that. So yes, the ownership are doing a poor job. The sporting directors let him down in January. They let Maresca down. He let himself down for allowing that to happen, accepting that. I think he actually come out after, and he seemed if he was happy to see João Felix leaving, and Vega leaving, as if it was some sort of benefit to the football club. There was no benefit letting two players who would have helped this team in one way or another at some point since they've been gone. And we've never been able to call upon them because they didn't want to play for this manager. They didn't want to play for the manager. He didn't want to play them. So why would they want to play for him? And I think more and more people in the squad are probably waking up to that. More and more people in the fan base are realizing it's a hard manager to play for. Why did Leicester start on fire but regress near the end of the season? Can you give us some insight as to what happened? To be honest with you, Matt, I think this is probably a longer video. You've given me a good idea, though, Real Gems. I will. Do you know what I'll do? I'll get some Leicester fans on. It's much easier to hear it from Leicester fans than it is to hear it from me, because I didn't watch Leicester much last season. I watched a little bit, very little. So it's disingenuous for me to say what went right or wrong at Leicester. But what we do know is they had a huge lead in the Championship, and that lead went from about 19, 20 points down to about 2 or 3. That's a lot of games. A lot of points you have to drop, a lot of games you have to lose, and that gap closed and closed and closed. From what I've heard, it was because he actually changed his style of play that they managed to drag Leicester across the finish line. If he hadn't have changed his style of play, they wouldn't have done it. But I can't say for certain, because again, I wasn't, massively involved. But I will. You've given me a good idea. I'm going to get some Leicester fans on. Absolutely. I'm going to do a video with a Leicester fan. I'm going to do a live stream with a Leicester fan. So appreciate the suggestion, mate. And that is a great idea. Henny says Enzo will get sacked has to get sacked if we lose. He won't get sacked. Let's see what else. Alex, please, I'm losing my head. Please explain to me, why did this clown rest Palmer and Jackson against Brentford? Why did he play all 3 right backs in Conference League just to play Chalobah in the Premier League? My friend, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you're right. I haven't got a clue. I mean, my guess my logical answer is that the manager's not capable of managing this club. He's incompetent. He's clearly inexperienced and underqualified, and he's struggling under the pressure. And he's not able to handle himself at this level. That's my simple answer for you. But I hope you're doing well, Ashley. And I'm sorry that you are suffering. Many of us are at the moment. Alex, don't you also think with Poch, the players had one less year of experience, meaning that justifies that Maresca is doing worse? This is an argument I've used. People don't seem to appreciate that Pochettino literally took a team of players that had never played together. Our team had just finished 12th, and then we finished 6th, got to a domestic cup final and semi-final. People go, oh, but he bottled it in the final. He lost to the kids of Liverpool. Who did Maresca lose to? Newcastle and Brighton. Early in the cup. Not the semis, not the quarters, not the final. Fucking before that. People want to defend this guy. Oh, but we're going to win the Conference League this season. I'm sorry. We didn't have the Conference League last year. It's not really an argument you can use. You have to try harder not to win the Conference League than you would to win it. For a club like Chelsea, it's fucking hell. Where is the common sense? It's just common sense. It's basic football knowledge. It's basic Chelsea knowledge. Do you not remember when Maurizio Sarri was managing us and we were in the Europa League? Piss easy. Fucking easy, man. We walked all over everyone. Listen, some of the games were a bit boring. I'm not going to disagree with you on that, but we were always going to... And we smashed Arsenal 4-1. Who the hell were Arsenal? And now we're thinking, can we beat Fiorentina? Can we beat Real Betis? Can we beat Fulham? Fulham? Really? Jesus Christ. The only thing that's full is this club because they're full of shit. And our manager is just... Ugh. Why did you give Potter and Poch more patience than Maresca? Good question. I gave Potter more patience because, honestly, I've always been an advocate for managers being given at least a season to implement their system. That's the main argument I can give you for Potter. Although I did lose patience with him. I was glad when he eventually got sacked. So I didn't back him until the end. But I mean, look, nobody wanted Tuchel to get sacked. So I wasn't exactly celebrating at that point, was I? But I was like, okay, we brought in this guy. We might as well give him a chance. Hindsight actually makes me feel like maybe we should have just kept Potter because we have been in an absolute limbo. At least we could have regressed and had some stability under a manager. We talk about standards now, and look who we have now. Maresca, who has a worse CV than Potter by tenfold. Potter progressed up the football pyramid it's an amazing story he has. And I'm not saying bring back Potter, but I'm just saying that the guy has achieved so much to get to where he is today in football and to get the Chelsea job. He climbed like 3-4 divisions in Sweden, took his club to a Europa League. Is it quarterfinal or semi-final? Played against Arsenal. That's where he got recognised, signed for Swansea, did well there, got the Brighton job, did well there, got the Chelsea job, a mess. And I think anyone that really got involved would have struggled. Maybe not as much as him, but anyone would have struggled. So, that's Potter. And then Pochettino, ultimately at that point, I just thought to myself, I never wanted Poch to join the club. But when he was there, I thought, right, we've got to back him. I'm here for. I'm happy to back the guy. And we've seen what Pochettino has achieved with a club like Tottenham. Let's just use that as an example. Because people use this PSG argument as to why they backed him because he'd won trophies. I'm like, you think these guys are going to go out and win the league? At one point, I thought maybe we've got a chance. But he actually seemed like the perfect coach to embed a young group of players into this team, and I think he did that. I think he achieved that in his first year. We struggled a lot, but as a coach, his selling point was his ability to develop individuals, and individuals would shine in this Chelsea side. We saw Petrovic, come into this squad under Pochettino. We saw Gusto thrive under Pochettino. We saw Palmer thrive under Poch. We saw Jackson improve. We saw Cucurella have his first decent season at the club since he signed. I won't include him because that wasn't his first season. We saw Gallagher becoming a key player last season. Who else? Caicedo improved. Enzo Fernandez, not so much for me under Poch. And I thought Chalobah was great. So those are 5. Chalobah's not another one that I won't include, but 4 of those players. So Gusto, Palmer, Jackson, and who else did I say? Petrovic. You could argue Caicedo, but I'll say Petrovic. Those are the 4 ones. 4 brand new players thriving within their first season. Tell me 4 brand new players that have thrived this season. Now, maybe that's not like the extent of the argument because we didn't necessarily sign as many players, blah, blah, blah. But I don't see individual improvement in players this season. I'm not seeing it. I just don't see it. I don't see any characters. I don't see any charisma. I don't see anything. And not to mention the way that Maresca speaks in the press is depressing. The way he speaks about football is just strange. The way he communicates with the fan base is disingenuous. He's a puppet. I dislike his style of play. I dislike his aura. I think he backtracks. I think a lot of coaches backtrack, but I think Maresca especially. And I think he's regressed his team. And I believe he is a real puppet out of all of them. I think Potter was a yes man as well. Pochettino, not so much. But I think Maresca is the ultimate yes man. So that's my reason. There you go. But yeah, you're right. You're right. The main solution to these problems is to get new owners. There's absolutely no denying that. Bluco, if they are no longer involved in Chelsea, we're able to go in a totally different direction, which isn't under the assumption of profits first and everything else second. So you're absolutely right there. And that's just the way I see it. With Poch, we improve. With Maresca, we've declined. It's that simple. You've taken the words out of my mouth, and that's the way I feel about it. To be fair, Charlie, again, you make a fair point. Like, he played with a hernia, so again, maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh on Fernandez. That's a good point as well. Right, let's just touch on Fulham briefly. Have they got any injuries? The answer is yes. They have a couple. I think Harry Wilson will be back, but Reece Nelson is ruled out. He's not available. He's got a thigh problem. But it seems like Harry Wilson is now clear. He's fit. He's available to play, which honestly is anyone like that is a concern for me because he's the type of player who has a lot of shots, who will take a shot from range, and I don't really trust our goalkeeper to keep out and not make silly mistakes. On top of the fact that the defenders have to try and prevent these set pieces from happening and these shots coming away, but maybe that's just me. If you look at the league table, it's actually a lot closer than you think. We're only 6 points ahead. You've got Fulham on 48 points, Chelsea on 54. A win would take Fulham within touching distance of Chelsea. That would put them on to 51 points. Only 3 points behind us. So then the question is, if Fulham are probably licking their lips, looking at the prospect of playing Chelsea, thinking that 7th spot is up for grabs. And Chelsea aren't exactly taking advantage of the situation they were in December. We were second at one point. We've gone down again and again and again. And now we're in 7th. And I'm sat here worrying about the likes of Bournemouth, Fulham and Brighton, as opposed to what I should have been worried about, which was Arsenal and Liverpool. I mean, that's a decline. That's a steady decline. If you look at the results that Fulham have had, over sort of the course of, well, let's just say the recent months. They've been relatively up and down in the Premier League. Let's just focus on Premier League results. I'll ignore the cup ones. They lost to West Ham, beat Leicester, lost to Man United, beat Newcastle, beat Nottingham Forest, lost to Crystal Palace, beat Wolves, lost to Brighton, beat Spurs, lost to Arsenal, beat Liverpool, and lost to Bournemouth. And there is a recurring pattern, which is win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. And they just lost. So that is telling me Chelsea are next in line. I hope not. But that's if you believe the conspiracies, which I don't. But there you go. There's a little fun fact for you. Another fun fact for you, which I think somebody said as well, is Chelsea haven't won a game in away game in 2025. Our away record has been so poor in the new year. It's been, I can't believe how poor it's been, actually. It's worse than you would even imagine, because it's not that we've been losing all of our games. We've also drawn a fair few as well, which is quite annoying. We're the only Premier League team without an away win in 2025. The only one. And we've only scored 3 goals in our last 8 away games. We've drawn 3 of those games and we've lost 5. So that is our record away from home in the Premier League. I don't know if that's necessarily Premier League or all competitions. Don't quote me on that. But it's poor, ultimately. That's the point here. So if you want a bit of proof, we can go through that. Look at our away form. Let me share my screen with you now. Brian, mate, listen. I'm having a good Saturday night. I'm not trying to find reasons to be miserable. I just do. I just feel like that. Yeah, and that's because of what I'm seeing. If we were winning games comfortably and playing good football, I wouldn't be like that. It's not just because I want to be miserable. I am a reflection as a fan of how my team plays. My team plays well, I'm happy. If they don't play well, I'm unhappy. Anyway. Oh, you've come to terms with the fact that we're not getting away for Champions League. Wait to liven up the mood, Brian. Way to liven up the mood. Come on, mate. I was expecting you to try and, I don't know, put a smile on my face. So, yeah, let's just have a brief look at our away record, which is hardly anything to be proud of in 2025. We drew away from home against Crystal Palace. We drew that game 1-1. We lost away against Man City. This is the game where I question Maresca starting Sanchez. We lost against Brighton in the FA Cup. We lost against Brighton in the league. At this point, I wanted Maresca gone. That was when I said he's got to go. We lost away from home at Villa Park against Aston Villa 2-1. Lost against Arsenal 1-0. Drew against Brentford. And there you go. That's our away record. So anyone looking for some inspiration from away form, don't look at Chelsea's away record if you want inspiration. Why didn't y'all mug Igbali when you saw him? You mean Egbali? Because I would have been arrested. To give you a simple answer. That's why I didn't mug Igbali. Listen, guys, got over 130 of you in the building. I have no idea what we are on in terms of likes on the stream. Let's get up to at least... Okay, we've got about 70 odd likes. Let's get up to 100 likes on the stream. Just 30 more likes. Appreciate it if you do. You don't have to, but it helps. And it just shows that you're enjoying what we're doing. I've decided that we're going to always do our evening streams at 10 o'clock as well, because it just seems to work better for everyone. I think people prefer it. If I was to think of myself, obviously I am streaming, but if I wasn't streaming at 8 o'clock, I wouldn't be watching a stream. I'd be probably a little bit later. So I guess it makes sense. And there are people in different time zones as well. So I've made the decision to do all of the live streams at 10 p.m. to accommodate for more people to be able to watch. Let me know if you agree with that. If you're really upset that I'm not doing the 8 p.m. streams as well, let me know. You can complain. I don't mind. Just let it out. Use the chat as your therapy. I've been told that I'm a drunk. You can't hear the words on my fan cams, apparently. It's what it is. Not everybody's going to like what you have to say. Most people don't say it to your face. Some people do. I do get the odd people on a fan cam that come up to me and they say, Alex, you're an absolute disgrace. Fair enough. I accept that. And I'll upload that. Please do. Debate me. Come and debate me. You are more than welcome, any of you, to come. I'm outside Connacht after every single game and say, Alex, you're full of crap. This is why. And I'll hold the mic and you can have it out. As long as people don't get personal, generally I don't get personal. Keep it football. So there you go. Listen, guys, I appreciate your time. It's been a fun stream. I've enjoyed myself. And I look forward to speaking with you all very soon. I am going to be streaming tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So if any of you are getting up at a half decent time, 9 a.m. UK time tomorrow, me and Kev are going to be doing a preview, providing Kev can wake up, because I will. And we're going to do a little match day preview on the day, just to talk about the upcoming game. We'll do our predicted 11, because I haven't done that yet. Predicted 11 tomorrow morning. And then I'm going to head off. All the best, guys. And we will catch up very soon. Enjoy your evening and get some sleep, because Lord knows you're going to need it, because Chelsea are draining. But I still look forward to it nonetheless. Of course I do. Up the Chelsea. And yeah, there you go.